Here's how to perform a finishing move in Black Ops 7. Now, a finishing move is sort of like a pre-selected animation where you can kill your enemy in a fancy way, and as the game progresses, there's going to be more and more finishing moves that come out. So it's a cool thing to do in game anyway, but it's also needed for quite a lot of challenges, and a lot of people will struggle with how to actually do them. So I'll quickly explain how you do one, and then I'll talk about how you can change your finishing move in the menu, and then how to get more finishing moves in general. So to perform a finishing move when you're in the game, what you need to do is you need to go up behind an enemy, and you need to be facing sort of roughly behind them. You need to hold down your melee button. So this button will obviously depend on your platform and your sort of button layout. So by default, usually if you're on PlayStation, you hold down the R3 or right analog stick, and then for Xbox, you hold down the RS, again the right analog stick. So that's it by default, and if you do that, it will enter that finishing move animation. If you're on PC, you want to hold down the V key on the keyboard. Now, you may alter your button layout in the settings, so quite a common alternative, which is the one I use, is the tactical button layout, so it swaps the crouch and the melee buttons. So for me, instead of the right analog stick, it's the button which is circle on PlayStation or B on Xbox, so in which case you'd hold down that one to do the finishing move. And obviously you can change it to other keys on the keyboard as well. So when you actually go up to the enemy and you're standing behind them, if you hold down that melee button, and the game will actually tell you what button to hold down. If you hold it down, you'll do a finishing move, whereas if you double tap it, you will grab the enemy and use them as a body shield, which is a new feature in Black Ops 6 and 7. And if you just press the melee button once, you'll gun butt them, and if you hold it down but you're not standing next to them, you'll just pull out your melee weapon. So you don't have to actually hold your melee weapon to do the finishing move. You can just hold your normal weapon, stand behind them, and it will come up with a prompt to actually do the finishing move. Before we continue with the video, if you're looking to unlock the Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6, or grind them extremely fast in bot lobbies, be sure to check out Mitch Cactus, as these guys are the biggest and most reliable sellers, offering legitimate and safe services on all platforms. They now offer a new cheap COD point service where you can get up to an 80% discount. They already have over 10,000 reviews on Trustpilot, so for all things Call of Duty, visit mitchcactus.com and use code RAGER at checkout for 5% off. Now, once you do that, it'll automatically enter an animation where you're sort of fighting with the character and you eventually kill them in a certain way, depending on what the finishing move is. Now, the thing is, if you get shot, or if your enemy gets shot while you're doing the finishing move, it won't count and it will end abruptly, so you won't actually get your kill, which is frustrating. So if you need them for a challenge, just try and do it as quickly as possible. So that's how you perform a finishing move. Let's quickly talk about how you can change your finishing moves to a different one in the menu, and then we'll talk about how to get as many of them as possible in the game. So once you're in the menu, if you go to operators and you select an operator, you can see the operator skin, and if you press R1 if you're on PlayStation or RB if you're on Xbox, you can then go across to the other tab, which is the finishing move tab. In that tab, you'll be able to change the finishing moves available. So by default in the beta, we've got the streamline, and we've also got the ripped through finishing move as well if you unlock it too. So those are the two finishing moves available. Obviously, as the game comes out and at launch and through other events, you'll get more of them. So now you know what a finishing move is, how to do it, and how to select the one you want. Let's talk about how to get more of them in the game. What you want to do is, ideally, you want to be as stealthy as possible with the enemy. So you want to be quiet with your shooting, with your moving, footsteps, etc., and that you also want to become less visible, which I'll talk about in just a minute. In your class, I'd recommend putting on Ninja in perk 1, which will allow you to move more quietly, so your footsteps will be more quiet. Then for lethal equipment, you can put something like a stun grenade or a flashbang, just in case you need to temporarily slow someone down and stop them seeing you, and you quickly come up behind them. For your field upgrade, it's worth putting on the active camo field upgrade, because it will allow you to be almost invisible for a short amount of time, meaning that obviously the enemies won't be able to see you, so it's easier to sneak up behind someone to get the finishing move. Once you're in a game, you want to flank around the edges of the map, try and find any enemies. Good places to find enemies are ones that are camping in rooms or in windows. Often if they're looking out a window, their back is exposed, so it's easier to creep up behind them and perform a finishing move, like while they're looking out a window or something. Sometimes they're lying prone on the floor, if they're using a sniper or a ranged weapon, or like I say, they'll be up on platforms, in rooms, by windows, that kind of thing. Other things is there'll sometimes be people hanging around the spawn, either intentionally, or if they are sort of inactive, they've just drawn into a game and they've had to temporarily stop playing, so the player will be inactive. Obviously that's an easy kill as well. The other thing you can do is, if there's common areas where people are running through, you can hide behind an object like a doorway or in a corner or behind a box or something, and as soon as someone runs past that area, you can then go up behind them and perform the finishing move. And like I say, flanking around the edge of the map, crouching where possible to reduce your footstep noises. You've obviously got Ninja perk as well. If you need to, you can stun someone with a stun grenade, and you've also got your active camo as well, which you can activate, which makes you almost invisible. Once you start shooting or attacking someone, that active camo will disappear, and so you'll be visible, but it's good good to get behind the enemy just to get the finishing move done. Once the game sort of comes out and we get more maps, you might want to play smaller map mosh pits as it might be easier to do. So things like Newtown, if they've got any equivalents of small maps like Stakeout or anything like that, then obviously it might be worth doing that. Otherwise, like I say, just play whatever map, go to areas that are high flow, hide behind an object and wait for them to come past. So there's lots of different ways to do it. It's up to you, but just see what you can do in the game. You should normally be able to get a few finishing moves every game. Obviously, make sure you go on core, not hardcore, so you've got more health, so you don't get shot more easily. Sometimes if you're struggling on the smaller maps to get them done, it might be worth going on to bigger maps, just so you've got a bit more space to sort of hide about or find enemies lurking at the back of the map. But that's pretty much how to do it. If you guys find this useful, be sure to drop a like on the video and feel free to check out my other Black Ops 7 guides. I'll have all the sort of challenge guides, camo guides, sort of XP, weapon XP guides, battle pass, all sorts, so feel free to check it out on my channel. I try and keep the videos short and as simple as possible, and if you like these kind of videos, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my latest ones. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all on the next video.